Welcome back to the UKLC, everybody. Scoundrel and Gulbug here, ready to talk about that first game. And wow, what a game it was. XL just completely dominant. That was a absolute schooling, I really think, to the Fnatic roster. And let's talk a little bit about what went wrong for Fnatic there, because XL did a lot of stuff right, but Gulbug, what actually went wrong for Fnatic?
Straight out the bat, I think there's going to be a lot of question marks towards that draft that they started the game with, especially Maokai, early game Rek'Sai, and Poke Varus coming in. They left off the Kalista against Deadly, and that just tells me that they had a plan against the Kalista, and that was the Maokai, and that was the Rek'Sai, and they wanted to early gank it. And we saw that, like 4 minutes in, they tried to get that gank down, but he had no flash from Matty, so he's a bit under pressure, couldn't follow up with the damage. And there was also a clench on Deadly, because he already respected them that much. They tried to go for the Taric, but Kaseng is just so fast on his finger that he's already flashed out of there before the Rek'Sai comes flashing in. And now the pressure is on them. Taxl is down there. And suddenly, all the resources you invested from draft to the early game to try and shut this Kalista down is just wasted. And I understand their idea, and it might have been right in their head, but it's just a too slim of a win condition to start playing towards, especially when you're going towards this poke. And at the same time, you drafted towards a good top line. It did go well for Pride. He was actually one of the key figures in this Fnatic lineup, especially this game, which is a big surprise to me. But he did he did solo kill himself. I mean, Sendo did nothing. It was just him capitalizing on the mistakes that Pride was making in the top side. So going into the game, what they did wrong and right is that throughout this game, obviously it was dominant from XL, but XLs often have small windows where they're making greedy mistakes. They like to skip steps, and we saw that they got killed down in bot lane when they were setting up a dive. I've got 3 rules. Normally, you got to set up pressure, you got to set up the wishing, and you got up to go for the objective after. They went for the pressure, and then they went instantly for the objective, got caught off guard without no vision, and pulled Fnatic slightly back into the game. The same when they're going for the Rift Herald, sending Deadly back before it's even taken to get more resources on him. He started taking the wolves, but XL was just so quick on capitalizing on the response from Fnatic that they go out of that trade even 2 for 2, actually get the Herald and the plating topside with the TP invested for Pride. So Fnatic's got the right ideas every now and then, but they're so individually outclassed. And I do believe you need to remove this Kalista from Deadly, because he's just too deadly on it. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, when you say individually outclassed, in my head it just doesn't compute. Like I just feel like they shouldn't be individually outclassed. Like exactly, they shouldn't be individually outclassed, but it just feels like in this series they are. Like all of those players on Fnatic are top. What you could probably argue for a lot of them top 5 in their role, like Matty and Magi Felix especially, maybe even in terms of like the regional leagues anyway.
Yeah,
and Dan, he's definitely fighting for it. But I think I'd argue in terms of ranking, some of the individual players in XL sit at the same position. So it feels like they shouldn't be outclassed individually, but they're just not finding the same kind of cohesion that XL are. And XL are just so good at methodically playing the game out, objective after objective, wave management, turret taking. XL play the game by the book. They play it by the numbers, and it works out for them every single time. As they've gone unbeaten this season, playing the same kind of strategy over and over again. So we're into the draft phase, guys, for a second game. Can Fnatic bounce back? They are on the blue side. XL will be on red. Let's see how this works out.
And when you're blue side, you can easily just ban out the Kalista. If you want to play weak side again with Pride, you get to take the own away. This time, Sendo will probably respond with his own set, but at least you can keep Pride occupied. He did good on flanking on the set last game. I think he would do fine on the own too, especially comfort for him too. Going into this now, next game, if we're looking outside of the draft, I feel like she should get more comfort on the. I love this word comfort, but it's so good, especially for Xmati too. Get him on Aphelios, get him on MF. These things that's worked for him too, and get him on something that you can snowball with instead of taking it chill. Because I feel like XL are a bit greedy as it is right now. Sendo is an example where he's dying because he wants to take the last plate and get the tower. They're skipping steps when they're setting up tower. And if you can get a snowballing champion when XL miss their steps and you can capitalize on it, get 2 kills or even more, and you can get a snowball going, I think that's where your strength are right now in Fnatic against XL.
I think XL ban on here, surely. I mean, the set ban was specifically to say we want you to ban on, or we're just going to take it. I assume, because obviously set being the immediate response for most times, it's going to be a Veigar ban. So I can only assume they are going to first pick Ornn in this scenario. But that might throw a bit of a spanner in the works. Okay, Kalista is up and available. They're going to take Kalista for Matty here. And that now gives XL a couple of options when it comes to their first rotation. I guess they were saying, well, Kalista's up, Ornn is up. Let's not ban one of them so they get the other strong pick. We want to at least trade off strong picks in this scenario.
And now you're a bit in a pinnacle because now, okay, I actually thought they were going to go with the Ornn themselves. Look like they're having the Aatrox at the moment. But as a support right now, Taric pairs so well with this Kalista. Taric obviously being one of Bravado's favorites. So do you do the takeaway on the Taric now? Or do you just pick a support and they just go with the support? Thresh focusing, obviously well known for that too.
I feel like Taric just by himself is really just not good and works specifically with Kalista. So I just think that I don't think. Hello, baby. Sorry, I'm not talking to you guys. Don't worry. Yeah, specifically, I think the is that a Draven just been locked in?
That is indeed a Draven. That is the OG Thresh Draven lane. Get your do body in. Let's climb some LP and just shred through bot lane. That's what they want to do with Deadly now on this Draven.
Wow. Okay. So I'm refocused again now.
Baby's out.
Yeah, I'm not trying to burst through the door anymore. It's going to be MagiFelix taking these Ziggs again. Something that we've seen a lot of mid laners play throughout the Nordics. And MagiFelix played it last game, I believe, and obviously played into the Zoe of Special. So I'm assuming they might even try and ban that Zoe out to prevent Special getting a matchup that he felt comfortable in. But yeah, it's going to be It's going to be the Thresh Draven lane, Deadly's Draven coming out versus like you said, Bravado, a very very keen Taric player. So Kalista Taric, obviously a very strong lane. It's kind of why Kalista and Taric came back into the meta in kind of a way. That's when Kalista burst back on. She was playing with Taric, but Draven for Deadly is exciting. I am very, very excited to see this game. This is going to be a wild one. We haven't seen much Draven play across the UKLC or the Nordics over the course of the last few weeks.
Yeah. And with the Ornn coming in, you know it's a weak side, top side, so you want to play it completely for the bot right here, and you need a good jungler for the setup here. You want to dive as much as you can. If you want to put in more early game, you go for the Elise in the jungle here, and you take some scaling in the mid lane that can match the 6. Asirius is still an option for, especially if he wants to hold towards that. Or you can contest with LeBlanc and you want to try to force that. Let's see what you go for here. There is still just the availability of picking your mid laner here because you know the 6 is going mid and you have the better jungle matchup. So let's see what they go for.
They got that pick to go. Remember, they have already picked up the Ornn. Definitely, I think it'd be difficult to put Ornn into the mid lane versus the Ziggs, but they will have options with the LeBlanc down and the Zoe down. Then maybe the better matchups are gone, but it is going to be Special locking in the Cassiopeia here. And we are just waiting for the jungle pick now for Taxa. I guess he wants to get eyes on what Fnatic is going to take for Dan in this scenario. The Sejuani is still up, should Dan want that, a pick that he has been very fond of over the course of the entire UKLC. And then we have the top laner, Bravado, should have an idea that he's going into Ornn here, unless Taxa decides to go Forge in the jungle, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to see a Pantheon locked in. And I assume that's for Pride on the top side of the map, so we'll have to see what gets locked in here for Dan.
Be extremely interesting if it's at the top side, because then you're playing for 2 lanes. Pantheon, obviously one that wants to get ahead in the early game, while Ornn could just take double armor rooms. And yeah, it is actually Pantheon in the jungle. So now you're looking to equalize in the early game, just getting that Pantheon down, flashing on the Draven. It does relieve some of that pressure that the Matty and Bravado should be under. Question is, what do they equalize with here? I'm still a fan of, at least if they want to completely go for the early game, but you can go for that Sejuani as well if you just want a tank that can go out throughout the early mid, but they do go with the Trundle instead. There's not really any tanks on the side of Fnatic here. Obviously, you got Taric building resistances, but it's not really one you want to just shred down because he is relying on his ultimate most of the time.
Yeah, he's not. I guess you're not going to get value from the ultimate from Trundle here, but you are going to get value from the pillars. You are going to get value from the peel ability that Trundle does offer to the team alongside the Ornn. So it's not a completely useless pick in that regard, and you can still go for those Taric resistances, of course. Those are the two compositions locked in, Guldborg. You've got about 20 seconds. I don't want you to tell me what they want to do, but just tell me which one you like and why, who you think is going to win.
I really like Excel. It's just because they got two beefy frontliners. They got late game in the Cassiopeia that can shred down tanks as well, even though there's not that many. You got the Draven you can play for in the early game. That's my biggest question mark, really, over on the other side of Fnatic. You know, the Kalista for Taric, obviously something you can play for. You're looking for late game with the 6. I'm just missing a frontline where I think Pantheon can be shredded.
I have no idea how many words that you put out in a very small amount of seconds there, so I'm going to hand over to Dan to take this game away.
I mean, Guldborg literally just kind of out-rap godding me there and that.
You gave him 20 seconds and he made it.
he made his point. Yeah. So let's have a little look at our comps here. We've got this Draven for Deadly. That's a real kind of, I'm a good AD carry. I'm a better AD carry kind of AD carry. Real making a statement there. Xmadi stealing away his Kalista that he's been prioritizing. And weirdly enough, both the junglers are just switching out and taking the Pantheon. So a lot of priority being put on that pick here in this series.
I mean, I think the synergy with the Pantheon Taric is pretty strong. I think Fnatic have seen that and they're wanting to play it themselves. What I do think is interesting is the Draven's a pick that can really match the Kalista in terms of trading power, in terms of early pressure in the lane as well. But it's extremely vulnerable. And I think the big thing that I'm concerned about is we have 3 global ultimates on the top side of the map. We have the Mega Inferno Bomb, the Cannon Barrage, and the Pantheon Grand Starfall, which can all be used to a massive distance to apply pressure on this Draven. If I've ever seen a comp that is going to play around bot, this is it. And if Draven falls behind, he's going to really struggle. Couple that with the fact that in the mid lane, you're not going to really have priority in the Cassiopeia because the Ziggs outranges you and he can wave clear with less mana cost. So I really just feel that Fnatic have drafted really effectively here. I was very critical of their draft last game. I think this is much better. If they're going to win a game, this is going to be it. If they lose this one, I'll be really concerned for them. But for now, BTXL going very aggressive, potentially looking for... I mean, they've thrown a control ward down in that Pixel Brush already. I believe
maybe to spot out any kind of lane swat, any kind of mat splitting or stuff like that. But it looks like both the junglers starting up on their top side of the map.
Obviously, Ornn doesn't really have too many concerns with buying a pink ward early, as he can pick up items for himself later on. And we do see a ward there as well. So the bot side pretty heavily covered. So if Dan does path around there, he will be tracked, which I do like to see in the early game when you have a jungler like the Pantheon, because his dive threat is huge, his gank threat is big as well. And critically, Deadly no cleanse in this situation. So if Pantheon lands a stun onto him, the follow-up will be there.
All right, well, we take them to the lanes. Everybody's starting out normal here. Obviously, Draven naturally is going to shove quite heavily. Obviously, he wants to continually auto-attack. So he's probably going to shove in this lane pretty effectively here.
I think a fact as well as the Thresh. Thresh at level 1 having the range advantage over Taric does give him a little bit of a lead. Now, this is the value of the information given. So Tax are going to look for a 1v1 here.
Yeah, Tax are actually going to win that as well. The red buff forcing Dan to flash. He flashes over the wall, but in the wrong direction.
Misread on that one. So ends up matching the flash. In honesty, Taxa should have just left it. He should have just let down flash and gone, okay, I found an advantage. I'll take the red buff. But he does greed a little bit. He is rewarded with the red buff and he forces Dan out of his own jungle, but ultimately to trade as summoners.
Ooh, flash out there in the bot lane as well. Once again, Pride is pushing in Sendo early.
Yeah, doing a fine job in the 1v1, but it's when he goes over aggressive that he can often pay. Ultimately, Deadly trying to step up when Kasing isn't there, and Kasing not being level 3 doesn't have the lantern, so ends up trading his flash. And that is a huge thing for Fnatic, because they can now make plays around bot lane. You can set up the stun with Bravado. If you use the flash and the E together in tandem, you can very easily land a stun onto Deadly. Dan can then walk in range to follow up, and Maddie by that point will have stacked up enough Rens to kill him. So there is potential to now punish this Draven in the bot lane.
There is room to play around there. We'll have to see whether or not they decide to go for that see what the junglers are looking to do, because Dan obviously going to have a lot better ganking early than Tax is going to have. And this lane's shoving in very, very deep here. But it looks like Tax is actually roaming down to this side of the map. Knowing that he's got priority from his bot lane. Going to try and steal away some jungle camps from Dan, knowing that last time they met, he was the one that came up on top. Bravado looking for the stun here. Xmatic can take a little bit of hooks, but going to get some damage onto Bravado. Doogie uses that stand aside momentarily. The pillar gets placed. This could just be first blood. The ignite is ticking. Bravado will heal himself back up and survive. But that was very close for Fnatic bot lane.
It's going aggressive without the cover to do so, and the pillar really effective there by Taxa, perfectly placed, and it forced the flash from Bravado, nearly going down as well. Ultimately, Bravado's going to be able to heal up. They're going to stay around. Pantheon's coming in.
Yeah, they're looking for the stun. They're looking for the damage, but that's a fantastic play by Kasing. He's still got the flash. He's going to use it now. Gets the lantern out for Deadly. And Xmatic unable to close the distance, unable to find the damage. Fnatic look for the turnaround. Don't get anything back.
Beautifully played in that situation by XL. They did everything they needed to avoid that. Kasing was perfect there, stopping the stun coming out from Dan, but ultimately the stun from Taric.
Top lane, Pride's in for trouble. He's already flashed. The pillar's being held. There it is, and that's first blood over to Sendo.
That's the problem. The lane is still in a bad spot on the top side of the map. You know they're going for a play in the bot side. The typical thing is that when that happens, they'll go for a cross-map play. Pride doesn't respect that. He's overextended. He goes down. And the thing is, if you look at the CS difference top lane, Pride could have backed away, and he still would have been up in farm. But he greeted, and he ends up paying. Now, a lot of actions just happened. Something to take note of is Magi Felix's flash got burnt mid while that was all happening. I believe it was in a 1v1 against Special. But that summoner is also down. So if you actually look across the board, no one on Fnatic has a flash available to them. And there's honestly a lot down for XL as well. It's only Special with his up. But ultimately, what this usually typically means is that in these next skirmishes, in these next ganks, in these next plays, people are going to be a lot vulnerable. The team who acts first will have the payoff because there's no flash to sort of bait the enemy team, extend some distance. I feel like whichever team goes aggressive on the back of this will find favor.
So they're shoving this wave in here. Sendo probably wants to look to try and get a base off. His mana is already pretty low. His health is half of the current state. Does still have his teleport. Maybe he wants to see if he can shove the wave out and hold his teleport for a play. If somebody wants to break out bot lane potentially, is like you were saying, flashes are still down bot side. Looks like XL now are setting up for this Ocean Drake. Just getting the vision control of the crab. Dan's waiting in the wings though. Fnatic rising.
Contest. No ult from Dan yet.
They're on a ward here. You can see the Special's slithering his way down though. Fnatic stepping up. Cannon Barrage is going to get burnt, and that is actually Dragon just getting gifted over here, though. Tax is stepping forward. He looks to try and see if he can steal it away. The bombs come down. The smite's there. That's going to be Dragon picked up for Fnatic, along with a kill. Deadly's trying to cash in on those stacks, but he can't do so as he's being run down. The call of the Forge God's being used. They're looking to turn it back around now as Deadly spinning those axes, getting the knockup, getting the cash in. Bravado's going to fall as well. Deadly's trying to find himself a double kill, but Sendo's the one to secure it. Xmatic now chasing him forward. The hook goes wide. Xmatic can find more, but it looks like just one is going to get picked up as he rends onto Kasing and takes him down.
Honestly, that was a good fight for Fnatic, all things considered. They end up getting the Ocean Drake. They end up trading pretty evenly overall to 3 for 3, and that was with a TP advantage for Sendo. This is the opposite of what we saw last game. Last game was XL doing this. They have someone in the side lane, and they still win the fight. Here it's Fnatic who come out ahead. Now, the downside is that we saw a cash-in come in from Deadly. He actually managed to get 330 gold in that situation, but 3 kills for Xmatic is super significant right now. The Callista's feeling pretty relevant.
Yeah, it's a 300 gold lead between the AD carries, so the passive from Deadly just kept him relevant more than pulled him ahead, which is normally what you want to be doing with the Draven passive. Catching a fairly large wave as well, but it looks like they're jumping in on to Special. He's just blown up, and Magic Felix finds the kill.
Now, this is a great thing to see. It's something we highlighted throughout the split, is Dan and Bravado working together in tandem. And as much as Taxa and Kasing have done brilliantly, I feel like this Pantheon turret combo is so perfect for them because Dan dives in with one stun, the second stun follows, and we regularly saw these two group up together and look for that. On the Sejuani and the Leona we saw early in the split, this is a similar combo in the way that it functions to apply that layered CC, and they deliver onto Special, who's flashless after that fight, and they can now transition it into a Rift Herald. And I don't really think there's any chance of XL contending. Now, the downside of this is if you look bot lane, Matty is being zoned off really heavily off this tower. And it's going to be at least a plate going to BTXL, but a lot of the wave missed as well until Bravado returns to lane.
Yeah, with the Blood Rush on Deadly as well, you actually can smash through these plates fairly quickly. The attack speed steroid he'll gain from that. Xmatty is now going to finally step up and try and catch some waves, but instantly takes a bit of poke.
Axe is moving down. Special has priority mid as well, so we could follow.
Oh, the hook was close. Not close enough. Now they're looking to look for the Lantern out. Deadly's going to be able to dodge away.
Close one there if he wasn't able to connect on it, but ultimately does get out.
This is Fnatic fighting. Cannon Barrage is going to get used. They're actually just going to jump in. Dan gets the kill onto Kasing. Fnatic really playing the map effectively now.
Yeah, and Deadly using his flash in that situation. This is what I was talking about. Kalista, Taric in the bot lane, 3 global ultimates, or at least close to, on the rest of the map. And it makes it extremely difficult for this bot lane to be played out by Deadly and Kasing. Honestly, for Deadly to be where he is now is a testament to the peel from Kasing to facilitate that. Because by all means, they are looking to punish. Cannon Barrage, the Grand Starfall, and even the Mega Inferno Bomb was there to follow if they needed it. Just makes things really hard to play in the bot lane. They're going to throw down the Herald and give some gold over. They aren't going to be able to do much more than that. 160 for both Xmatty and Dan.
Yeah, Whirling Death was used to clear the wave out by Deadly there. So he's able to at least hold the wave. 10 minutes on the clock and Fnatic rising. 1,000 gold up currently over BTXL. And as we move later into this game, Dan, what are we looking at? How do XL kind of pull this back?
I think they have some scaling strength. I think their engage potential is pretty big. If you find an opportunity to get on top of Xmatty and throw down, say, a Miasma on top of him, he is really going to struggle. Ultimately, as much as they've looked to punish bot lane, Deadly is still strong, and they can definitely play around that one. Fnatic will excel in finding numbers advantages, but if you quickly pick someone off, or if you group up so that you have 5 members, that isn't really as apparent. I think... Honestly, it's gonna be close to team fights. I feel like they could both go either way. You have super strong CC potential from Sendo. You have obviously the sustained damage of the Cassiopeia, but on the other side, Ziggs, Gangplank, Kalista, obviously monstrous. Again, I'm gonna say what I said in coming out of the draft. If they don't keep this Draven ahead, if he starts to get shut down, I think that XL's comp does falter to a degree. But for now, they're looking pretty like they're still very much in this game. The gold is close. The second dragon spawning. Both teams are posturing for it.
Yeah, it's time to fight. Pride has his ultimate, has his TP, but no Cannon Barrage yet. It's coming up shortly. Zendo moving his way down. He recognizes that he's teleportless currently, so he needs to be able to get down there as quick as possible. And it's over to the side of BTXL to start up the dragon. The contest is coming in here from Fnatic, though. Taxa onto the pit. They use the Mega Inferno Bomb. That's actually picked up by Deadly. In goes the Fate's Call, and the teleport's going to get used. They find a knock up by one by Bravado. He uses the Cosmic Radiance. Call of the Forge God's going to knock a bunch of people up for the moment. Deadly untouched in the fight, but the Cannon Barrage is just zoning them away. Sendo has to flash out. The Whirling Death was used there onto Bravado. Deadly just looking to peel away momentarily. XL's health bars are low, but they get the dragon and they get out of there scot-free.
Managing to get away with murder there, essentially. I really felt like that would have been a fight for Fnatic to win. You could see
this is greedy by Deadly.
Really is.
He's stepping up while his whole team are resetting. He's just going to get dove here. Exhaust. He's down. They do find something onto Xmatty. Xmatty has to flash away as the subjugates here. It's used. Taxa looking to chase. In comes Sendo onto the back line, though. Trying to turn it back around. Gets himself the shut down here. That's going to be the stun. Specials in with the Miasma, the pin down in place. Bravado is the only one standing. And it's a double kill for Sendo.
Ends up being a 3-for-1 in that situation. That's the play they were going for. Put Deadly out, end up baiting the enemy team. But I'm not sure how worth it that is because the plates you lose in the mid lane and the top lane. Yes, ultimately you trade up in kills, but it does have a cost to it. This isn't just a raw 3-for-1. You have to look at the consequences on the rest of the map. I think a big takeaway as well is now you down both those TPs for Special and Sendo, so Pride's and Magifelix will be up sooner. And Pride is just going to take that top target, the first one to himself. So maybe this is the sort of situation where, yes, XL opted into that play, and yes, they knew that they would end up losing a lot of plates, particularly top. But the trade-off is that you managed to get that shutdown on Xmatty. Still think it does favor Fnatic, despite everything, especially as they remove the stacks from Deadly. But ultimately, it's not really a positive trade in either direction. But now Xmatty, he's looking to take another plate mid. Actually, plate's gone. He's just looking to get the tower. But he will be warded away.
Yeah, the Whirling Death's able to clear that out. It looks like actually we're having the Ninja Tab. He's getting picked up by Deadly here. Special stepping forward. The turret will go down in the bot side. Pretty easy there when you got that Ziggs.
I mean, I think a big thing is how hard team fights are for Xmatty.
Bravado may just get caught out here. Special can chase. They've got the pillar. They've got the Fate's Cool, but the bombs are fairly big. And now it's Magifelix who might get caught out. They're going to use the Asthma, get the knock up, get the turnaround. The Mega Inferno bomb's there. Deadly's onto the flank, though. And Sendo finds his 5th kill. The Cannon Barrage has been used. And XL trade out 1-for-1. Jungler for mid lane. They get priority on the mid lane, and they're going to look to try and push into this turret and take as much of his health as possible. But over the wall, will clear the waves out.
I think they want to translate to Herald. You really can't take that mid-tier 1 up against a Ziggs. Ultimately, that was a 1-for-1 trade, despite the fact that Pride wasn't even there. He just offered his Cannon Barrage. So ultimately, a favorable play for Fnatic once again, where they trade 1-for-1 at a numbers disadvantage. This is something that XL have typically been doing throughout the split, where you win despite not having the numbers to do so, just from outskilling. Now, Magifelix will blow up the tower in the mid lane, so they get the extra gold income from that. And they're looking to try and get control around this Herald area. But the resets have already come in from XL, although Deadly is low on mana. So I feel like this may not be the priority right now. It's a little bit risky to go for this Herald.
Well, they're starting it up still. Get some damage down. XL gonna now put their hands onto the Rift Herald, which means, hopefully, it means they can crack open this mid lane, which was their game plan earlier. XL in this game are being a lot less controlled, and they're more just willing to trade out with Fnatic. Trade a 1-for-1 or sacrifice someone to try and get an objective elsewhere on the map. Feels like that's very much the game plan here for XL in this game.
They're looking for Special here on this blue buff.
Yeah, he's going to get caught out, actually. Oh, Petrifying Gaze is big, but he's already stunned. And Magifelix secures the blue and everything.
I was literally thinking, because Dan took their own blue buff, and I was like, that's not very fair to Magifelix. And then it's clear that Dan was like, don't worry, we'll get you a blue buff. And they managed to pick that one up from Special just as he takes it, shutting him down. And you can see the power of this combo between Pantheon and the Taric. Very hard to avoid that stun. Will and Death's going to come down and try and clear out this wave in the bot lane. Deadly's trying to take this tower by himself, and Matty will just kind of be forced to back away. They will get the tower for Deadly, but still, nearly 3,000 gold down. Fnatic looking far better in this game than in game 1, and now they're looking to take this Cloud Dragon. Typically, you know, Cloud Soul has some strength. The movement speed is nice. Obviously, maybe not as much on Calista. But a big thing in this situation is really nice for Dan when he pops the ultimate to get the soul. But also, just the Cloud Drakes, reducing the cooldown on ultimates is actually huge for Fnatic, because Fnatic's ultimates are so big. Bravado's Cosmic Radiance on a very long cooldown, really instrumental in fights. You have like the Cannon Barrage, the Mega Inferno Bomb. All of these are really big tools that you want available as soon as possible. So if Fnatic end up stacking up a bunch of Cloud Dragons, it actually is really favorable for them to have those.
All right, well, moving up. They've still got this Rift Herald to use, and it looks like Taxa actually not willing to throw it down in the mid lane yet. Holding on to that for the moment. Sendo is the one who's been finding a lot of the kills here for BTXL. 5-0-2 on this on.
Isn't always an awful thing because it does make the on fed, and the trade-off is that sure, Sendo's got a lot of kills, but all of his farms been going over Deadly. If you look at the farm spread on Fnatic, it's a lot more sort of, yeah, Magifelix is far ahead, but Maddie's not too far behind, Pride's at a decent level. Sendo is just massively far behind, and it's clear they've been assigning this to Deadly as they usually do.
Well, they're looking for the shutdown here. The Rifter gets summoned in the mid lane, and now Sendo buying some time, gets a lantern away. He's out of there. The turret's coming out, and that should be Deadly picking up that turret.
They're able to get that one pretty easily. A hard objective to break against the Ziggs. It's definitely a big payoff in taking that one. Now, they were looking for Sendo. Obviously, that shutdown available on him makes him a very valuable target. But Pride...
Yeah, they're going for it. They used the Grand Starfall, and now Pride may just get caught out here. They've got everybody jumping into him. The Call of the Forge God's been used. The Mega Inferno Bomb does a fair amount of damage onto Sendo as he's left running into the wind. One kill has already been picked up there. That's another one. Magifelix picks it up. Taxa is all on his lonesome as he is being flanked out by Fnatic. The rest of the team cannot make their way through to save him. Taxa will fall. He even goes for the Chilling Smite. He's just going to be sacrificed here as Magifelix picks up his 4th kill.
And Magifelix looking strong is definitely a win condition for Fnatic Rising. A 3-for-1 on that. That should have been a 3-for-0, but Pride walked back into the Whirling Death. Like, he'd already stepped out the first, like, you know how it goes out and comes back? He'd already stepped out the way, and then he walked back into it. So, bit of a mistake there that ended up giving over a kill to Deadly, but ultimately, it was a huge engage from Fnatic. They're using their globals extremely effectively, and the payoff was they're able to get 3 kills for it, and Magifelix is just getting stronger and stronger on this Ziggs.
Special's going to be able to take this turret here in the bot lane, so they equalize out on the turret score here for the side of XL. And the gold lead is still relatively close. It's just under 2k. It's now just ticked into that area. Dragons relatively even as well at this point. Actually, they're looking for Deadly. The minefield gets used. They use that stand aside and the pillar. Deadly can do some serious damage to Magifelix with just one auto attack. The Bloodthirster Infinity Edge combo is pretty nasty.
Yeah, that pillar was super close to that, you know, that position where you just can't walk through at all. I was kind of worried for Magifelix, but he still did have his flash available. Ultimately, they try and go for a play. It doesn't pay off. And so XL gains some ground. Now, game's slowing down a bit. I think ultimately Fnatic will consistently just wait for that ultimate to be available for going for these plays. Next dragon may well be the next objective we see a fight for. But for now, we're seeing pings come out onto the Baron. So there's vision established by Fnatic, but remember, we have a Cassiopeia on the side of BTXL. So if there's any alone time, I feel like Taxa and Special could just duo that together quite convincingly. So you have to be concerned a little bit about that one. For now, though, Fnatic trying to establish control on the bot side of the map. Well, they could look for a fight here if they see the opportunity. Taxa chunked heavily.
Yeah, Taxa's been jumped onto. The pillar's been used. The miasma was big, but X-Maddie secures the kill. The Fate's Call as well has been used. The Special now actually just going to look to run towards them. Does a lot of damage to Bravado in return. Not enough, though.
Good pick, though. Without the jungler, they could just look for this Baron. It's a little bit risky, but they're TPing in. They're committing. They have the Callisto secure. They have the Cosmic Radiance for the team fighting power. XL looking to contest, though.
Yeah, they're looking to come in. Sendo on that flank. Very, very strong right now. Deadly throws out the Whirling Death. Gets instantly caught out by all of the CC. Lanterns away. The ulti does connect, and that is X-Maddie just rending him down. A double kill, though, picked up for Special as he's looking to chase on for more. He's exhausted. He's low. The hook's not going to quite connect onto X-Maddie, but it lands onto Dan, and Dan just lands the smite. Now Sendo's low, but they're looking to turn it back around. He gets the lantern out. He gets subjugated. He's being run down, and the knockups are there. XL finds the ace.
And XL turn it around when it matters. They stop the Baron, they find the fight, and it was so close. X-Maddie nearly wanted to go for the 1v3 play with the exhaust, but he's unable to find it. And Sendo, who is the recipient of all these kills, was so strong in that one. He was just untouchable. They ignored him for a long time, and he was just consistently putting out damage and ends up burning through all of Fnatic Rising.
we highlighted Sendo at the beginning of the stream. Him and Taxa have been on XL forever. And this is the best form we've seen them in their entire careers. They are playing so well. And Sendo, that was just stellar.
Absolutely was. And it's starting to become an issue because he's something you have to deal with. The front line of BTXL is really tanky, really hard to cope with. And sure, Fnatic have pseudo tankiness. And by that, I mean, oh, and Gate's coming in. I'll hold my thought.
Yeah, they did look to go on to Kasing. Kasing's about to get his flashback. Gets caught out by the Mega Inferno Bomb. Dodges away. Gets the Lantern. Gets the flash. Dan secures the kill, but the Cannon Barrage, the Grand Starfall, and the Mega Inferno Bomb just for a support.
Yeah, but they do get the pick. It's what they wanted. And they can now try and establish control. Critically, Kasing is the one with the wards. He's the one with the Lantern as a safety net for these immobile carries. They look to find a fight here they could be punishing. Right now, they're going to turn back onto the Baron once more. At least clear out the vision. They're not committing to it yet.
Actually looking to catch out Sendo in the mid lane. He's very extended right now.
But very strong. He's got a frozen heart as well, so he's extremely tanky.
Yeah, he is pretty hard to cut down as he's able to step away. Needs to be careful here. I don't know why he stepped up that far. The blast gun gets used and he's steering charges away. And use that Call of the Forge God as well. Gets himself a 2-man knock-up as he is so tanky. He's just buying time. The rest of the team are on to the Baron. Sendo doing some pretty big work there. There's a shutdown picked up for Xmatic. And the Baron is so low. It's a Draven and a Cassiopeia. This thing is going to melt here. Fnatic just use everything to kill Sendo and they lose the Baron.
Yeah, I'm going to call that a not worth.
I call that a whoopsie daisy.
I guess, no, I just don't understand the decision making. Like, clearly they wanted to shut down this Ornn, but there's a valid way to go about it, and that was not it. And now, Xmatic caught out.
Xmatic has to flash.
And he had to flash quickly. If he was later, the Miasma would have just rendered him unable to flash, unable to dash. So a concerning spot and a great hook from Kasing coming out. This is where things start to get concerning. Gold is even right now, but the Baron is in favor of BTXL. And this is where they're going to start handing out ornaments. Sendo level 14, so he has one to give. He can give the Molten Edge to Deadly. It's a significant spike already.
They'll probably wait for the Death Cap for special.
Could do. Depends when
Special's actually looking for Xmatic, gets him out. That is going to be bye-bye. Going golden, but hook lands, shutdown picked up for special. The snake is oh so dangerous.
Finding a pick, and this is a power off the Cassiopeia into the Callista. The Miasma is super threatening.
Dilla gets used onto Pride here. They look for the hook though. Cannon Barrage is going to get used, but there's a Lantern for him to get away. Call of the Forge God's going to get used in the meantime. They're looking for the knock-up on to Pride. This is very optimistic by XL. A lot of CCs being layered onto Sendo, but he's going to land himself knock-up after knock-up. He's just so tanky. The
he's 1v2, he's just not taking damage.
Almost enough to secure the kill. Sendo is still alive and missed all of the damage. The flash, the Zhonyas, and Deadly gets himself a kill. The Pillar's also going to be used, and they've even stopped more of these bases. Deadly going to get the Lantern out. Xmatic trying to close the distance to get into rend range, but he's unable to find it as they actually use the Fate Cool to try and get something. But Deadly finds the kill. That's going to be the turnaround, though. They do get something out there from Pride as Dan takes himself another one. The health bars are low for the BTXL members, and Xmatic chasing onto Sendo, but Sendo able to peel away, and in comes the Cassiopeia special. Got a full health bar to work with. A lot of mana. It looks like that's enough to send Fnatic packing. A massive wave is crashing into their inhibitor bot lane. This Baroned up couple of melee minions are going to crash into this mid lane turret, but just don't really have the minions to work with on that one.
Actually, they're going to look for Xmatic here. He's on his own.
Teleport's getting used to make sure Xmatic can get out. That's actually Pride using it. Dragon spawning up, and actually Sendo needs to get back to base and TP back in if he's going to be able to contest this. Oh, no, yeah, they got 20 seconds.
Not able to find it. And essentially, XL, just Sendo was tanking so much damage there. He felt unkillable. And all of Fnatic were throwing everything towards him, and it just did not work in that situation. honestly XL getting away with murder there. I think overall Fnatic managing to pull out to like maintain a lead in kills, but even so, their base not actually doing too bad considering XL had the Baron. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse. But right now they're looking to contest this dragon.
Well, the hook comes out by Kasing on to Matcha Felix. He gets knocked up. Mega Inferno Bomb. Not really going to do too much on that one. And now Fnatic have just been zoned off the dragon. XL, 2 of them are going to go for the dragon. Actually, it's just Taxa. The rest of the team are going to hunt for kills onto Fnatic, who are having to run the long way around. Special catches them out. The miasma gets used. He does get stunned up momentarily, but the blast cone over the wall, followed up by the cannon barrage in the pillar. Dan is going to get cut through as he goes golden for the moment. Xmatty gets himself the big knockup. That's the Cosmic Radiance. Fnatic are looking to turn it around. That's one for Xmatty already, but the knockups are coming down from Sendo. They're trying to find the damage onto the Ornn, and it's not going to be enough. Deadly inside the base, though, is looking to take inhibitors here. Taxa maybe looking to interrupt with a pillar onto the 2 members. That's going to be the inhibitor going down, and now Deadly, he's just bolting back towards his support, and there's a lantern available to Kasing. He's going to flay back momentarily. The barrels have been placed. In comes the hook. In comes Deadly. Not going to find them with the dazzle, and the teleport's getting used. Fnatic closing in onto Deadly. A stand aside is going to get burnt. Now Taxa's onto that flank. Kasing's going to take some damage from the bombs. The minefield's been thrown out. They have a lantern to get Deadly out of trouble. Here comes the bomb. Here comes the damage. But Kasing is still alive, and Deadly still dodging away on everything they can do. Fnatic find nothing.
And after all that, again, it feels like XL, despite members going down, they just seem to be dancing away in the face of danger. Magi Felix getting picked at the start of that one, really rough. And we saw a massive knockup from Maddie and Bravado with that Fate's Call on 4 members, but it still wasn't enough to cleanly win the fight. Fnatic still looking to pick up the pieces. They're now 1,500 gold down. They want to contest this Baron. We've seen some big item spikes coming in. Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver for Pride, Rabadons for Magi Felix. Maddie has a Bloodthirst of that extra tankiness, but across the board, seen a lot of power picked up, but it just really comes down to the execution in these team fights. And I think BTXL just find it easier having Sendo there as his beefy frontline. Dan potentially caught out.
Yeah, Dan has to use himself, the Aegis shield to keep himself alive there. Molten Edge on Deadly means he is so scary right now. Currently rocking almost 400 AD.
There's no Leandries yet for Magi Felix, means Sendo still just really doesn't take damage. I mean, that was a crit barrel. Look at his health. Baron's just been done by Special and Taxa.
Yeah, they're going to be able to cut through it so quickly. Cannon Barrage does get used here. Taxa has the Honey Fruit to heal back up, so Cannon Barrage used to stop a Baron. It's not bad, but it doesn't really mean they have it anymore. And now,
And look at the minimap, though.
they'll just beeline towards the top side, and they're going to take a tier 2 here.
Super Minions pushing in means that there's 2 lanes of pressure against Fnatic. They have to respond to them quickly, and they really feel like there isn't much of an avenue. Xmatty's only recalling now. Ult's going to come in and clear the wave out. We'll buy some referee for Fnatic, but they still end up losing the tower there.
Sendo is stepping up forward here, but he's so tanky. The Leandries, like you said, not even finished yet. GA finished up for Xmatty.
Mighty hard to kill now in this cluster, but he needs to do so much work in these team fights. And the problem is Special is becoming more and more relevant. Deadly never really got shut down. And if a crit connects, he does so much damage. That's the thing, is there's no one on Fnatic who really wants to be absorbing that damage. You have the pseudo tankiness of Dan with the Aegis Assault to provide invulnerability, of the Cosmic Radiance, but they only last for a couple of seconds. They're not true tankiness like Sendo has. It's available throughout the fight as long as you have a HP bar left.
I mean, look at these crits on the minions. 1,366 damage there.
Now again, Baron being started up by the Cassiopeia, and Dan was actually clearing bot wave. He has ultimate, so I think that was the reason for that decision. You're gonna throw the cannon barrage down, but this is just gone.
Yeah, that is going to be that picked up. Almost stole it with a Meteor, to be completely fair. Now Sendo gets himself a Call of the Forge, got knocked up on 2-2. Deadly actually getting chunked out here. Cosmic Radiance is pretty big, and that's going to be the shutdown. Picked up for Xmatty. Hook goes a little bit wide, and they get Baron, but they lose their AD carry. XL just going to have to base and spend some gold now.
Now, the critical thing here is that Dragon's Soul would be taken by XL if they get this next one. Fnatic are going to have a numbers advantage for this, so they may be able to stall this one out and deny it. The thing with the Baron is a Baron will eventually time out, a Dragon's Soul won't. They're able to secure this one. It means there'll be an even playing field in terms of Dragons for now. Now, they're looking potentially for a pick.
Special just got his Zhonya's upgraded and not his Death Crown. He based, bought the Death Cap, didn't put it in the right slot, and Sendo was upgrading it, so he upgraded his Zhonya's instead.
Unfortunate. Get the Dragon equalized in terms of those. And again, the cooldown reduction on those ultimates pretty significant, helping the Cosmic Radiance be available more. I think across the board, the ultimates for Fnatic really significant in these fights. A lot closer than game one, I'll say for sure.
Yeah, a lot closer. The tables have really turned. Last game, it was all about Deadly. This game, Maddie, the one on the Kalista, piloting it so well for his team right now.
Magifelix not even going for the Melanomicon, going for the Oblivion Orb. So you'll be doing more damage to Special and Deadly, but Sendo's still going to be extremely hard to kill.
Does mean that Deadly's kind of sustained with the Death Dance and the Bloodthirster is going to be somewhat negated. His Dance actually looked to find something on to Special, but now he's being grounded. Puts up the Aegis, the bomb's going to come down. Actually enough to disengage, but the flash forward comes in for Kasing, gets himself a play, and Deadly gets himself that kill. Gets himself popped back for the moment as Sendo has to pop the stone plate. Loses half his health. A lot of damage coming out from Maddie now.
Not super significant losing the jungler here because there aren't any initial objectives to take, but it still means they're a man down in the scenario. Deadly's just going to be able to take this inhibitor essentially unchallenged. Now, Sendo half HP could potentially finish him off quite easily if he oversteps. For now, XL just take that inhibitor essentially as a freebie.
Yeah, bot lane hip's going to fall down. Special actually pushed the wave up as well, so he's got that working for him. And now, Taxa pushing in the top lane. The rest of the team making their way to get priority here in the mid lane and push that in.
Going for a bit of split pressure in this situation. Dan is up in 2 seconds with ultimate available.
Feels like for Fnatic, this is their moment. They have to stop this Baron siege, otherwise the game is going to go so wrong. Pride's going to be doing a fair amount of damage to these squishier members with the Infinity Edge and the Essence Reaver. He's got himself another crit cloak as well, so he's currently sitting on that sweet spot of 70% crit, I believe, at this point.
Yep. Like Fnatic able to withstand the pressure from this Baron push. Reset's going to come in from BTXL. Not able to really do anything more.
Remember, Maddie's going to be able to clear out these waves pretty effectively with a Hurricane.
Ziggs as well. Really powerful in terms of wave clear now. Next fight.
To be honest, they've got a lot of wave clear.
Both Baron and Dragon spawning around the same time. And this Dragon will be sold for one of the teams. So definitely going to be a big force in that situation. We're seeing a lot of items being rounded out and closing on these final ones. Mortal Reminder picked up Maddie, so got some armor pen to help deal with Sendo. Ultimately, I feel like when these objectives come up in about 2 minutes, that is going to be what decides the game. Baron being up and available, the Soul also. Both these teams are going to be looking to contest those. The one who comes out the victor could well just take this match. Obviously, XL still 1-0 up in this series, so they have a little bit more wiggle room.
Full build here for Maddie. Deadly, the same for him. AD carries are as big as they're going to get. Outside of Deadly hitting one more level and Maddie hitting 2.
BTXL trying to look for a pick on Maddie.
Yeah, they're going for him. They do get the knockup with the pillar combo. The Cosmic Radiance is going to get used. It's going to pop. That means Maddie's going to be able to hold his life. The Tempest Fate is going to get used momentarily. Maddie sustaining in that backline as he holds his life. The Whirling Death rips through Fnatic Rising and a pillar comes down. Miasma to zone as well, but in goes the Mega Inferno Bomb, and that's the kill on to Pride that XL needed. They take out the Gangplank as the hook by Kasing comes down. He's got to be careful though. These bombs can really start to hurt.
Huge play coming out there from Special, though, to go forwards aggressive like that when your team is backing off and find Pride. Massive reward of that situation. Health bars will get reset by Fnatic, but their inhibitor's already going to have gone down in this situation. Objectives are spawning pretty soon. Really rough to be without your top laner right now, especially as Pride has no TP available, but the Cosmic Radiance really was a deciding point there. If that hadn't come in for Maddie, it could have just been game over.
Yeah, now it looks like XL are looking to turn this around. They're looking for the pillar, but can't quite find it right now.
Dragon spawning pretty soon, and Pride's still not up. I think this is going to be a situation for Fnatic try and trade objectives. The Soul is going to be in the pocket of XL for sure here. Thing is, can Fnatic get the Baron?
It's going to be quick. They got that Callista. It's going to do a lot of damage. Pax is moving his way over. It looks like Soul is going to get started up by Deadly. He's the one to pick it up. Throws out a Whirling Death as well. And in comes the Call of the Forge God. The team fight is on. 2 members get knocked up. Sendo does get chunked. Baron remains leashed up here by Fnatic. They use the Tempered Fate. Hook comes down, and actually it looks like the Dragon not even going to get picked up. XL now going to use that Dragon Soul to chase forward. Deadly trying to close that gap. Satchel's going to get used to clear the wall there by Magi Felix. And XL are closing in. Kasing's looking for that hook. The pillar was big. It's not going to land though. The flash comes out. Special does get the miasma down. The Cosmic Radiance has been used into the Mega Inferno Bomb. A lot of people was the golden in the middle of that fight. The stun lands onto X-Matty. He now has to kite away from Taxa as they're going to get the res out of Dan. Deadly still full health bar. Trying to do something here. But it looks like the XL tanks are just going to have to back away. Fnatic hold on. They trade out 1 for 1 there, killing Special and losing Bravado. Call of the Forge score does get used onto X-Matty, who dodges away on the hook though.
Healing there though for X-Matty to be able to sustain up, but ultimately the base of Fnatic in worse state. They have to deal with the supers. I think XL just going to turn towards this Baron now. For Fnatic to lose both the Soul and the Baron here, really unfortunate.
Some dire straits here for Fnatic Rising. It's actually going to have to bring people in because Tax is taking too much damage. And in comes the team. The Mega Inferno Bomb's being used. It looks like this should just be the Dragon is stolen! Magi Felix finds the turnaround. And Deadly, no mana, no flash, gets the Lantern out though. XL just throw the Baron.
Hero play from Magi Felix there on the Ziggs, managing to secure the Baron when by all means it should have gone the way of XL. A super clutch moment, which may well impact the fate of this game. For now though, Sendo's in the backline, potentially looking for a flank. They might be able to catch him out unless he TPs away. Dan has his ult up soon. They could collapse on him here.
They just used the Cannon Barrage. Looks like
efficient from
be able to get away. Ulti used there by Pride, but relatively shortish cooldown at this point in the game. He's got just under a minute left on that till it comes back and gives a small area to punish here for BTXL, but with the Baron bases, Fnatic do get back to base nice and quick. What a steal by Magi Felix.
It was looking so rough. I mean, with the base already in shambles, getting a Baron as well, the BTXL could have tipped it over the edge. Magi Felix there when you need him, but now BTXL pressuring in on the base.
Getting focused out here, Deadly. Trying to step forward, trying to finish it off, but he's unable to do so. Gets cleared out. Sender now pushing in this mid lane, giving a point to fight around. Inhibitor, 600 health left. Only a few auto attacks until that goes down, and Sendo pushing up in the top lane. He's got a wave to work with, so someone has to go answer him out. It's going to be Pride, able to clear through these waves nice and effectively, nice and quickly.
If you can barrel.
Big Fnatic, but I don't know if it's enough for them to siege with. They're still in a rough position here. Pride, double Infinity Edge, got a lot of damage to work with. They do get themselves the damage onto Deadly, but Deadly able to get the Lantern away. The Cannon Barrage has been used as well. Deadly holds his GA. The Mega Inferno Bomb's going to be enough to pop it here. They've got the bind field. They've got the damage. This is going to be the Lantern to get Deadly out. He does hold his life momentarily. Special goes golden. The Call of the Forge God is going to knock up multiple members as Dan gets himself a kill onto Special. The box is placed, and Fnatic looking to close this gap, but they've only been able to kill themselves. Special. They lose the inhibitor in the bot lane. They've got to use this Baron effectively now.
Taking down Special was huge. It could have been deadly, but the Lantern from Kasinga is clutch. Really good thresh play, but ultimately, Fnatic are finding the fights they need. The ult are enough to jump them down, and they're looking for Sendo, but look at the bottom of the mini-map. Deadly's still pushing away in the bot lane. They need to respond. Their base is under duress.
Collapse is coming in. The Lantern's been used. Kasing's over that wall. Looks for the optimal ult. They do look to turn around onto Sendo. Xmaddie putting some space out, but he hops into the hook, into the knockup, into the damage. Xmaddie's low. The bomb's going to come in, but it's not going to land onto the right mark right now. They're trying to get the resurrect down, but the flash is there. Pride comes in with a barrel chain, gets himself a 1-for-1 trade out so far. Xmaddie is still alive, and Deadly's going to fall down. Fnatic with a cannon barrage have turned the game back around. Kasing will fall. Fnatic find 4, and they're running it down the mid lane. They're looking to close the game right here, right now. But look inside the base. Sendo, he's on to a Nexus turret. Onto a Nexus. He can't take it, but I don't know if Fnatic can close. I don't know if XL can hold. We'll have to find out.
Special having TP could have gone into the base to try end, but I think it would have been risky. You have no one to defend your base, and still a lot of wave play from Magic Felix. Ultimately, team fight win for Fnatic. I don't know how Maddie didn't die there. The scaling from Bravado coming in with the shields to keep him alive. It was super close in that scenario, but Maddie staying alive despite being trapped by 3 members of 4 of XL was huge in that scenario. The Callista's so strong right now with a huge amount of lifesteal. Elder Dragon coming up soon is the big objective, and that could be the turning point for this match. Both these teams fighting neck and neck, and it's what we expected between these two. For the last year, they've just fought endlessly to try and claim that #1 spot, and Fnatic has held that. And right now, XL, they're 1-0 up. This game's close.
Fnatic are looking to end XL's undefeated spree in this game. It's been a
season,
insane season for XL. Xmaddie doesn't have GA. GA actually just got sold by Deadly, and he went for the Mortal Reminder because it was on cooldown.
They both sold them on cooldown. They know this next fight's the big one. Cannon Barrage coming in, but won't amount to much. Look at Special.
Yeah, it was the QSS actually picked up for Xmaddie. Special is on that flank currently.
So scary. One mistake here could be it.
Yeah, you see that auto attack, almost half health Magic Felix. So powerful by Deadly. Pride also going to be doing some serious damage with that double Infinity Edge. He's got a GA for himself right now. Looks like Pride's going to have to go deal with the wave. He's got that teleport. The Call of the Forge God's going to get used. Xmaddie has to dodge away from this one. He isn't able to, but now it's on for the fight. In comes the knockup. Xmaddie has the Cosmic Radiance on him. He's going to get knocked up and constantly CC'd. He's zoned away from the team, but in comes Pride. In comes the hook. It's only going to land on Bravado. The Whirling Death gets dashed through the team. Special flashes forward. He gets CC'd in. That's the Mega Inferno Bomb. This could be the turnaround right here. Sendo pops the Stoneblade to stay alive. He's trying to run through the team, but he's unable to get himself any kills. The health bars on XL are just so low. The Cannon Barrage is going to rain hell down onto the members of XL. The Honey Fruits are big. The Spears are not big enough, though, as they can't pierce through the hearts of the XL roster. The bombs are coming down, and Tax is going to fall. Sendo is also so low. They get the res out onto Gangplank. The stun's not going to be quite enough here, and in comes Xmaddie onto the flank. The stun's not going to quite land. Who can win out of these 80 carries? Xmaddie can't quite turn it, but he does get turned onto. They find a double kill for Dan, and it's just Sendo alive. The minions, though, are inside of Fnatic's base. They have to do this, and they have to defend at the same time. Elder Drake or base. What's going to be the call here for Fnatic Rising right now? Because Sendo is trying to close the game. He's not going to do so. He's going to have to back away and go for the inhibitor in the mid lane.
Pings are coming out on the Baron. Maddie's dead for a while, but they have the Elder Dragon buff. Fnatic win the team fight they need to. It was super close. Special going for the hero play with the ultimate, but they managed to turn it round. The Taric doing so much work with the healing, sustaining these team fights, as is Xmaddie in this cluster, and they're just keeping in. They're going to try and rush this Baron. Will Fnatic be able to respond in time?
It's going to be fairly quick there with Special, but they're making their way forward. The Grand Starfall going to be up in just a few seconds here for Dan. They don't know this is going on quite yet, but in they come. I don't know if they're going to get there in time, though. It's to happen. That's just the Baron over to the side of XL. They sneak it away.
And they didn't know what was happening. They didn't use a Mega Inferno Bomb. They didn't use the Grand Starfall because they just didn't expect it to happen. A really clutch play by XL to call that one out. And as much as the Elder buff, they're looking to go for the fight here. They want this.
Yeah, they're not going to find them, though. The base has come down.
Baron's waterfall was interrupted by the pillar.
Oh.
Huge play coming out from Tax.
This game is just down to a nice edge right now. Fnatic now have to push through this Baron buff. Sendo pushing up in that bot lane. The Whirling Death gets used by Deadly to clear the wave out. And the Elder is still onto Fnatic.
But this is
fighting is oh so hard here, but they find a hook onto Dan. They find a pillar. Gotta put the Aegis shield up to make sure he doesn't die.
This
But
is
look
the problem,
at the bot lane, top lane.
As much as the Elder is a stronger buff, it doesn't matter if you can't force a team fight, and XL just not letting it happen. They're sending Sendo in a side lane on the Ornithal things, and they're just holding mid. Without a Baron, they can't push up the waves because they just get demolished at this point of the game. Now Sendo, he's tanky, but against an Elder buff and against this many members, he's going to go down, but he's going to take the inhibitor with him.
Yeah, he's going to go down with that inhib. That's going to be the end of that, or is it? It's not quite enough, as Elder Drake will be enough to get the kill there from Dan. And now XL trying to do something. The Cannon Barrage is going to get used for the slow. The Mega Inferno Bomb does a fair amount of damage, but not enough to fully commit here. Dan throws out their Grand Starfall. They're looking to chase in for more. In for the flanks. It's a 4 versus 5 for the moment for Fnatic, but they're unable to close this out. XL are being so slippery, so infuriating for Fnatic.
And I think you can see how much they wanted this fight with the Elder buff, but they're just unable to find it. XL just opting out.
Xmatty has now restocked up on his GA, sold his QSS, his Merc Scimitar.
And you can see Deadly sold his boots for a mixed scimitar himself, wanted to avoid that CC. Cassiopeia full build. Remember that she gets an extra item because she doesn't need to buy boots. Ziggs full build. I mean, across the board, the only people who actually haven't got full build are the junglers and the supports. Everyone else is sort of capping out on these items. And at this point, sure, there's definitely different scaling levels from these teams, but it's just so close right now to call. Execution is the big turning point here.
The bases are coming through, but it's purely to restock on elixirs and on mana. No one to overextend.
Right
This is the point where Vision gets a little bit harder because only supports actually have spare slots left.
Okay, do you want to know something interesting?
Go on.
If Magi Felix is Gathering Storm, he's getting 120 AP right now. So is Special, actually. Deadly also has Gathering Storm, but Xmatty doesn't. Deadly's getting 72 attack damage right now from Gathering Storm.
Oh my lord. Special has 1,178 mana right now.
You mean AP?
AP, sorry.
Deadly has 600 attack damage.
Oh my lord. These teams both know that this next big team fight is the decider.
We keep saying that. We keep saying that.
I know, but I used to add something to it, Orcs.
But it's still, I don't know what it is. It's like every team fight, it's like, this is it. This is the big one. And then it still just keeps going. This game is just, it's like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And we're still here at 51 minutes. And this is only game 2. We still have a whole series to finish. It's a best of 5.
I have a very breakable voice. These guys might be unbreakable, but my voice is very breakable. Fnatic and XL delivering, giving us the hypest ending we can have to the summer split of the UKLC. Sorry, the spring split of the UKLC. And they're looking to kill me off while they're doing it.
They're looking to win, but that would just be a bonus. We'll slow down definitely as we wait for those neutral objectives to come in. The Elder Dragon going to be slightly sooner. Generally seen as the stronger buff, although we saw XL able to use their wave clear to just opt out of a fight. I'm not sure that Fnatic could do the same thing. Worst case scenario is the enemy team gets both. That would be the big hit ultimately. Will of Death comes down just to chip Magi Felix a bit, but nothing too
Pride has sold boots and bought a Phantom Dancer.
He's now 100% crit.
So he's 100% crit damage, and he gets the shield, and he has the GA.
You know what? This could be it. This could be Pride redeeming himself with the mother of all barrel chains to win the game.
I mean, that team fight last time at the Dragon Pit, he landed a 4-man barrel chain. It was pretty nasty. How much AD has he got? 456. So it's not as much as Fnatic actually just going, you know what? We're just going to run it up the mid lane.
interesting strategy. It does mean that an engage can potentially come in as a flank. Sendo's near the back line, and XL definitely have posture around the Dragon area, and it's up to Fnatic to try and push in. At this point, everyone but Kasing is level 18. Kasing and Tax are the only ones not level 18. Even Bravado is level 18 now on the Taric, something you rarely see as a support player. They have got their dragons up, and it's been shot. It's almost down.
The cannon barrage is being used. In comes the barrels. That's going to be the secure. This is BTXL running with the gift of the Elder. Sendo's onto the back line, and he's going to go for the assassination. They're trying to get the damage off, trying to keep Magic Felix alive momentarily. He has to flash away, but the gift of the Elder onto Bravado is enough for Deadly to secure the kill with the whirling death. It's a 1 for none in favor of BTXL, but they've picked up the big objective. They want to go for it, and now they're looking for Baron. Tax is going to take some serious damage here. Fnatic were just caught sleeping at the Elder.
And XL given no time to breathe. They're TPing in. They want to force a fight when the health bars are still low. Remember,
that's the flash forward. They're looking for the damage onto Pride. Pride's going to get taken down, but he still has that GA to work with. Instantly will be picked up out of res. That's the shutdown for Deadly. Nexus will fall here, and Fnatic have free to defend, have 71 seconds until Pride is back alive. Xmad is going to have to make some kind of a miracle happen here with Magic Felix. Here comes the call of the Forge God. Here comes the team fight. Dan trying to put some space up for the moment. The Miasma will catch out one. The gift of the Elder is going to be enough to secure the execute on the GA. They get the stun. They get the Mega Inferno bomb. Xmad on top of that fountain, trying to sustain up for the moment, but he is going to get taken down by Deadly. Deadly jumps into the fountain and will fall down, but Taxa takes the Nexus. 2-0 to BTXL.
And what a rough game to lose in that situation. Fnatic, they had the early game they wanted. They got the draft they wanted, and they're unable to close it out. And now they're facing an XL undefeated, 18-0 on the split, 2-0 over them in this series.
I mean, that was just an incredible series. Well, not even series. We still got more to go. We're not even done. It's a best of 5, but that game was so good to watch. And for Fnatic, it's got to be infuriating losing that game. It looks so dire, and you pull it back, and every time they got a good team fight, every time they got an advantage, someone would stop them from pressing that advantage, whether it be Special on the Cassiopeia defending mid lane after that big team fight, or Sendo just being an absolute nuisance on the Ornn, unkillable. It just felt so rough there for Fnatic, and they weren't able to pull that out. But we're going to take a quick break here. We've still got more to go. XL are on the match point, but there's still a potential for this to be a reverse sweep for Fnatic, and they are not going to go down without a fight. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you for game 3.